to talk. Holy smokes. Did you guys see the ABC interview that President Trump did? Let me tell you, I have seen maybe every interview President Trump has done. Certainly, I have seen over 95% of the interviews President Trump has done since he came down the escalator. And I know a lot of you guys have too. I have never in my life seen a takedown during an interview like that one. President Trump filleted that ABC News interviewer like no president has ever filleted an interviewer before. It was insanely beautiful. I mean, this never Trumper reporter comes in and thinks that he is going to take on Trump and expose Trump and do all this. And he was completely humiliated beyond belief. So I'm going to play some of the clips from that and from the rally too on the program and take your calls on it. It was incredible. It was, I mean, it really blew my mind. And you'll hear with the clips, it was great. Yeah, President Trump is amazing. And this reporter is just stupid. Just a stupid, stupid reporter who thinks he's so superior to President Trump, and he had no idea what hit him. He had no idea. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh yeah, I loved it. It's Trump's best interview. There's no getting around it. I've never seen him take somebody down like that before. Holy smokes. The guy was so over his head, he didn't even know what hit him. You know, he didn't even know what hit him. I mean, Trump just, boom, did it. Let me see. How many of you saw that interview? Was it not the best? I'm talking about the ABC interview with President Trump with this idiot reporter in the Oval Office. Oh, it was the best. I'm just queuing things up. Okay. I'm just queuing up some of the stuff I want to play from the interview. Now, those of you that watch on this live stream with the green screen, if you want to see, and you can on this stream, you can hear me obviously and see me. You can hear the callers that call in. But if you want to see the video and hear the audio that I share, you got to go to my other stream, which I'll start in a few minutes. I got to turn the air down. It's really hot. Hey, buddy. That's my cat I'm talking to. I have my daughter's 2 cats that are staying with me. One of them used to live here before she moved out when she was a kid. He was very old, and then she's got a new cat that's about a year old, and he's a big baby. He's like scared of our cats. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and man, oh man, do we have a lot to talk about. Now, of course, I also take live calls. We'll be live in a few minutes, and oh my gosh, okay. So, Mike the board op is running very late, so I'm actually going to start. I'm going to start, and we're just going to be on YouTube. We're not going to be on the radio. They're going to have to run it. They're going to run a best of on the radio because he overslept, and I have no idea when he's going to be there. He just sent me a text, so it could be the whole first hour. I don't know. So I'm going to go live in a couple minutes, and we'll get a YouTube pre-show, not on the radio for a while. Oh, did you guys, anybody catch the rally last night? Was that not a great rally? Holy smokes. Oh, I cannot wait to get to these sound bites. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is with Whitmer. Was Trump trying to destroy her political future or what? I don't know. Or was he just being nice and didn't even think about it and it just happened? Preschool. I never went to preschool. Neither did my daughter. Went to kindergarten. Got a little. Hold on. I've got a little bit. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll start in a minute. Getting a little buzz from the mic. Gotta figure out where it's coming from. There it is. Got it. All right, I'm going to start the other stream. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And boy, oh boy, did a lot happen yesterday. How many of you caught President Trump's 100-day celebratory Michigan rally yesterday? That was just an amazing rally. I'm going to talk about that. And then ABC News was granted an interview with President Trump with this idiot fake news reporter in the Oval Office. And President Trump, I got to tell you, I have seen almost every single interview President Trump has done. It's hard to say I've seen every one because I'm talking about since he came down the escalator. I have seen 99% of Trump's interviews, easily. And I think most of you probably have too, because if there's a Trump interview, I'll see it, but I may have missed one or two in the last decade, 11 years. But this interview that President Trump did with ABC News in the Oval Office with this reporter was the biggest takedown I have ever seen in my life by any president of the United States, including Donald Trump. He took this guy who came in with all his liberal talking point questions for President Trump. He took this guy and exposed him and brought him down and humiliated him like I've never seen before. And I'm going to go through some audio sound bites on the program today of the ABC News interview and the Trump rally. It was phenomenal. Now, I just got a text message from Mike the board op. He is running late. So they're running a best of on the radio right now because Mike's not at the radio station. He'll text me when he gets to the radio station. So even though we're supposed to be live on the radio right now, we're not. But we're live here on YouTube, and I'll take calls and play the sound bites. And the show's going to continue just like we were, okay? If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And subscribe if you're new. You will love my content, I promise you. There's a couple callers on hold. I'll take one, maybe two, and then I'll get to the sound bites. So if you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free wherever you are listening, and the number is pinned in the live chat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right.
Hi, my name is Joseph, and I'm from Ohio.
Joseph from Ohio. What's on your mind, Joseph from Ohio?
Well, right now, to be honest with you, like I am a right-leaning conservative Republican, and I'm also a young man. So with those two things being said, I went to a college. I don't know if you know. Do you know Kent State University by chance?
Yeah, everybody knows Kent State after what happened there that's where the students attacked the National Guardsmen and the National Guard. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And now, being conservative, right-leaning, obviously my views do not align with any of my peers, Like, it is a liberal arts college with high liberal-leaning views. Like, my first week at college, I swear to God, I saw a sign on the floor, like, spray-painted, saying, Zombie Apocalypse class. So I asked my teachers about it, and it's worth credits.
Oh, well, that's nice, yeah. Kent State, let me tell you, Kent State, if everything you say is true, I believe it. I'm originally from Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is my hometown. I live in Florida now. I lived here most of my life, but Columbus, Ohio is my hometown. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who is likely to be the next President of the United States, is an Ohio guy. He's a Buckeye. So they should rally behind the Trump administration because Ohio is going to get, 10 presidents are from the state of Ohio. J.D. Vance likely to be the 11th Ohio president. So they can promote there's more presidents from Ohio than any other state. A lot of people don't know that, and I only know that because I, went to school in Columbus, so, they tell us that all the time. But listen, don't worry about these wokesters at your college. Wokeism is over. President Trump has ended that. They're out of fashion. They've been rejected by the American people and canceled with all that wokeness.
Yeah, it's hard walking around campus and seeing people blowing their college funds on like $15,000 fursuits, though, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm gonna run. I got a lot to cover today, but welcome to the program, and make sure you subscribe. All right. All right. Take care. Take care. Yeah. If you guys would like to call in, the number is toll free, and it's pinned in the live chat. All right. So I'm gonna get to some of this now. I'll say this because we're not on the radio right now, even though we're supposed to be. I have 2 live streams in the morning. Those of you that watch on the vertical live stream with the green screen behind me, if you want to see the video and hear the audio that I play, you have to go to my other stream on YouTube, and you can hear the audio and see it all. And some of this I'm going to have to go over again when we go live on the radio for the radio audience. So this is not supposed to be a pre-show, but it kind of turned into a pre-show. So President Trump, I'm going to play clips from both the ABC interview and the Michigan rally last night, which was, I watched them both. They're beautiful. So President Trump granted an interview to this fake news liberal reporter in the Oval Office, and they're sitting face to face, in front of the Resolute desk. And this guy's questions are straight out of the liberal talking points, okay? He goes through them all, and President Trump took this guy down like I have never seen any reporter taken down by any president or frankly any politician, even President Trump. He's taken down reporters many times, but never like this. Okay, here's the first clip. Now this is one of my favorites, maybe even my favorite. This guy does not believe that this fake Maryland man in El Salvador is MS-13. And he and President Trump are talking about the tattoos that are MS-13 tattoos on his knuckles, on his fingers, which is a confession on top of all the other evidence that they have. But that's a confession that he is indeed MS-13. And the way this reporter tries to dismiss that truth is insane. But President Trump doesn't let him get away with it. You hear that? How this reporter does that? The reporter is hearing something that he doesn't want to deal with and he doesn't want to hear. And he says, well, some have interpreted that. Let's move on. Right? I mean, this is, he's not in the business of covering news or breaking news. He's in the business of crafting narratives. So let me go back. We'll play the whole thing. And he just, oh, that was Photoshop. The president, this is one of the things that the media and the left and the never Trumpers just will never accept. Okay, I talk about this sometimes. President Trump is the president of the United States. They still consider him, they don't even consider him the incredible host of The Apprentice and Celebrity Apprentice. They think he's a reality TV star, and they dismiss him. President Trump, when he says something that involves national interests, like this wife beater from the terrorist organization of MS-13 that the liberals are defending, he is briefed by American national security agencies. They give him top briefings that are from our intelligence, whether it's NSA, CIA, FBI, whatever they got, they brief him. This is not a reality star or host of The Celebrity Apprentice. He is the sitting president of the United States who is briefed on all of this stuff by top experts that have analyzed and everything. So when he says something like this, it's true, but the reporter can't accept it. This is great. I bet he does. Wow. Wow. It's contested. These reporters are just out of their freaking minds. They're completely out of the mind. In fact, this wife beater that the Democrats are defending, including this ABC News reporter, there were photographs of him with his wife that she put on Instagram, and she used heart emojis to cover up his fingers, to cover up the gang tattoos from the Instagram. That came out too. Why was she covering up the tattoos? This, the new media, which I'm proudly a part of, the new media is where it's at now, because we share with you the truth. And maybe something comes out and there's a story that develops, and what we were talking about originally has changed. We have new information. I'll acknowledge that when it happens. But people come to people like me and others because we report the truth. And in my instance, you guys have an opportunity that no one else has. Like I'm looking in the chat room now, and as every day, there's trolls who say, "Oh, you're in a cult. It was Photoshop." All this stuff. I do something that is incredibly unique that no one else does. I take live calls on my stream here on the show each and every day, and you can call me. All the calls are totally unscreened, unvetted. When you call, no one answers the phone. I just put you on hold. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're going to say. I don't know what you're going to ask me. I don't know what subject you're going to bring up. I put you on the air and say, "Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?" You can call me to task out on the carpet any moment on this show, live in front of the entire audience. Okay? And that means that I've got to be, doing my job right. I need to be, because you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind. If new information comes out or I make a mistake, that's fine. But these people in the media, the mainstream fake news media, they will never admit they're ever wrong. And for some reason, they're turning this MS-13 guy into a martyr icon. They'll probably have statues of this guy. They'll probably have youth centers and schools named after him if they can. But and you could hear the tone with this guy at ABC News interviewing Trump in the Oval Office, which he's very disrespectful, in the Oval. By the way, if you want to call in, the number's toll free, and it's pinned in the live chat. If the people that are saying I'm in a cult, what, the cult of America? Well, okay, that's a good cult to be in. But you could hear President Trump is sharing with him information that he can't deal with, and it's like, put in his head, let's move on. That's been contested. Ukraine, right? He wants to get off of it immediately. All right, our number is pinned in the live chat, but it's also 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, chicken down. All right, let me play the next clip. This one here, President Trump took this guy to the woodshed like I've never seen. Listen to this. This is a beautiful moment with President Trump, with just totally exposed. If you're on hold, hang in there. Totally exposing this fake news reporter. Okay, now what they're this is amazing, because President Trump's breaking news here. What they're talking about is that's one of my cats knocked something over. Hold on. Oh boy, what'd you knock over, Pepsi? I don't know. Nothing's broken. They just knocked over some books. They're talking about the fraud that Doge exposed. Okay, and listen, this is amazing. See, now, isn't this goes back to what I was telling you guys a few minutes ago. President Trump is the president of the United States. He's got his presidential daily briefing when he wakes up every morning, but he also is briefed by everyone, okay? So he knows things that are not available to the general public. Now, the president of the United States has a lot of incredible powers. One of them is he can declassify information just by saying it. So he's giving us here information that the public doesn't know about. And this reporter, who, if you talk to him, he would love to get that big story, right? He wants to have that big story. President Trump drops on this reporter from ABC News a major story that has not been reported everywhere, and he's trying to dismiss it and cover it up and not even, wow, I got some breaking news here. Let's get into the details. Amazing. Wow. Yeah, this guy does not want to break news. It's a strange thing with the media. The media have always been left wing. And when Ronald Reagan was president, they did a poll, and that poll said that 80% of the Washington media, and now this was during the Reagan. I don't know if it was the first or second term. I think it was his first term, but they did a poll at the time that said 80% of the media then identified as liberal, as Democrat. And if that was accurate, and it was 80% of the media during Reagan's time, it's about 98% of it now, isn't it? I mean, And when you're talking to the president of the United States about things like criminal referrals to the Justice Department, you're talking to someone who's a primary source of information. He obviously has been briefed by Pam Bondi or someone else from the Justice Department, or Elon Musk and Doge, about fraud they found that was criminal. And, like these people that have been getting payments for 20 years and that they referred to the Justice Department for criminal investigation and charges. But this reporter cannot accept that President Trump is the president of the United States, and he knows everything about this. Now, if you're just joining us, of course, I'm Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Mike, our board op's running late. They're running a best of on the radio. So what I'm doing right now is just on YouTube. When Mike gets into the radio station, he'll send me a text, and then we'll be on the radio. But I'm still taking calls, as you can see. And some of these things I'm going over, I'm going to have to go over again when we go live on the radio for the radio audience. But this ABC News interview is just spectacular. This next clip, this is amazing. Let me just play this one. No build-up is needed. Yeah, and we know this because when President Trump was at the Pope's funeral, those foreign leaders were climbing over each other to kiss his ring, remember? And his blue suit. Wow. I mean, he just can't wait to end this interview. This guy gets the opportunity of a lifetime. I don't even know his name. What's his name? Moran, or is it Moron? I can't remember. He's a lower level guy at ABC. He gets an opportunity of a lifetime. He can't wait to get out of there. President Trump will talk to him for another hour. All right, let's take some of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, Richie.
I have to say this. That interview that you're putting, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Just these clips. That is such, I don't even know where to start. He is so disrespectful. I am so sorry that President Trump didn't throw his behind right out of the White House.
Yeah.
It's not that dodging questions. The disrespect the total like it's like I've seen criminals interrogated by police that give them more respect to the criminal than they do to the president of the United States.
That's true.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And this reporter, the one clip I played earlier about the criminal referrals from Doge to Justice, the guy, President Trump, is giving him information that he's been briefed on that has not been released to the public, and the guy doesn't want to hear it. And I mean, this guy should be fired by ABC. He's the worst newsman I've ever seen.
No. He has instruction. No, I disagree with you there. I think that ABC sends these people out there to go and attack.
Yeah.
This is a hatchet job.
Yeah.
This show no respect for the president because they don't believe he's the president.
That's right. They don't accept it.
Never did this with
He's
Biden.
not worthy of being president, so they just don't accept it. Yeah.
No, they don't accept us either. That's the biggest thing in the world. They think we're all morons, uneducated.
Married to our cousins.
We're not all college educated, so we're stupid.
Yes.
I mean, this is really ridiculous.
Yeah, hold on, Richie. I'm going to answer some of these calls. Okay. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, this, I'm going to go through sound bites later from the rally too. And again, I got to replay some of these when we get live on the radio because the board op is running late, and I'm from my home studio today.
Listen, over the weekend, they showed, I believe they showed a clip of everybody saying one particular word. Every of these news agencies said the same thing out the first 100 days of Trump's presidency.
Yeah.
Chaotic or something. They used one word. Every one of them. It's like the word gets out and they all follow. Like
they get the same talking points. Like remember the red meat with the George W. Bush speech, and everybody said, they get their talking points and they all repeat it.
They all repeat it just like parakeets. I mean, I can't believe it. I watch this stuff. I absorb all of this, and I say to myself, that is why people like you and people are growing like crazy, because you tell the truth 99.9. At least you tell the truth 100% to what you think the truth is.
If I'm wrong about something, a lot of times, because a lot of people, because what I talk about is breaking news. So more information may come out. These are developing stories, so maybe something I said may turn out not to be accurate. It's not. I got the information I have now, but the mainstream media, they're done. They're done, and this is a textbook example of it. Yeah,
it is. And some of your callers are like yesterday. You saw what I said to you. Some of your callers think they're going to be doxxed because they're afraid to say where they work. It's a joke. It's a total joke.
Yeah, it is. All right, Richie, I appreciate the call. All right, now we're going to go live on the radio after the bottom of the hour break on the radio. Okay, so probably about 7 minutes. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. These people don't know when Trump basically insulted this reporter when he said this. He said, I chose you because I don't know who you are.
Yeah, he's giving him a break. He's this unknown ABC reporter. He's giving the opportunity of a lifetime to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, they don't get every time he does one of these things, and that includes that town hall he did with Caitlin Collins. He makes them look like idiots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And every time he does this, and it's not just him. Every time we see his press secretary does it to the media as well. Everyone in this administration is smart enough that they know how to handle these people in the media.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how in the rally last night. Did you see? President Trump brought up Scott Jennings from CNN. That was great. He didn't say much, which is
wow.
Hey, Mike, it's good to hear from you, man. Take care. All right, let's go. We're gonna. By the way, after we're gonna be live on the radio after the bottom of the hour break on the radio. Mike has arrived at the radio station. He's setting up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James from Kentucky.
Hey, James, speak up.
On turn off the.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, turn it on. That's fine.
Okay, I can hear you.
Go ahead. You-
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I was just wondering how you felt about the January 6th rioters and the.
Well, that's pretty vague. What you got to be more specific than that.
How do you feel about Donald Trump releasing the January 6th rioters?
Oh, well, that's not what happened. That didn't happen.
Are you aware of a gentleman named Pete Schwartz?
No.
Well, Pete Schwartz was one of the insurrectionists.
Well,
also been released
well, hold
by
on a
Donald
second
Trump.
here. Hold on a
And
second
you know
here.
what?
I watched President Trump's speech in front of the White House and the Washington Mall on January 6th, and he said,
Okay.
"Go and peacefully let your voices be heard. Peacefully let your voices be heard." Okay? And
well, answer me this. Answer me this. Just one answer. Why is Pete Schwartz out of jail and threatening my family because he thinks
I have no idea who that is, and I'm not going to get involved in your little petty thing. But hey, listen, welcome to the program. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Okay, now we haven't been live on the radio the last almost 30 minutes. So the radio station they were running a best of in the first half an hour. So they're going to take their bottom of the hour break, and then we're going to come back after the bottom of the hour break. But it'll be on the radio then, as well as here on YouTube. So I'll have to do an introduction and everything. I'm just waiting for Mike to give me the exact time we are going to be back. And then I've got a couple of commercials to do in this half hour that we'll get to. All right. Now, guys, if you'd like to support my channel, please do. And one way you can do that, do some Mother's Day shopping at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. You know, Mike Lindell was at the rally last night in Michigan. You guys see that? President Trump did several call-outs to him. And, you know, Mike Lindell, because of his support for our favorite president, the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, and being an openly MAGA businessman, has been canceled by Walmart. He's been canceled by... well, Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business. They stopped carrying their the MyPillow products. They went out of business. The QVC won't offer MyPillow products. Kohl's and many other of those big store national retailers. And Mike Lindell, what he's done is he's offering, and he's been doing this since it happened, and it's been very successful because you guys out there, you know, using my promo code and you support Mike Lindell. He's offering his products at the wholesale prices that Walmart and Kohl's and Bed Bath Beyond and all these other low-life companies used to get the products at. So you're getting the wholesale prices that those big national retailers used to get at mypillow.com with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, you can use my promo code on all the specials at mypillow.com. Like the premium MyPillow, this is the one with the Giza cotton cover, just $19.98. This is what I was sleeping on last night. I have every one of them, my pillows, and I rotate them around all the time, but this is my favorite. It really is. It's got the Giza cotton cover. It's just so comfortable and soft and beautiful and perfect. All these make great Mother's Day gifts. The MyPillow slippers, just $59.98. That's $90 off with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Great Mother's Day gifts. The MyPillow mattress toppers. I have a MyPillow mattress too. I've got all the MyPillow products, and I bought them all using the promo code Kane at checkout. And every time you make a purchase using my promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com, you're letting Mike Lindell know that you support him and this program. Okay, well, 2 minutes and we'll be live on the radio. Hold on. Sorry, guys, my throat's a little dry. So go to mypillow.com, and just incredible deals going on site-wide with my promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. So when we get back, and you can also use my promo code in the My Store, by the way. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. When we get back, I got to open the radio show, and I'm going to cover the ABC interview. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, we will be back. Let's see here. in just over a minute. So if you're on hold, hang in there. Sorry about that, guys. My throat is dry. If you're on hold, hang in there. Welcome, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Welcome, one and all. Holy smokes, do we have a lot of news to cover today? There were many major news events yesterday. The two biggest news events, one is the Michigan rally, which was beautiful yesterday. I'm gonna play some clips from it. But then I woke up this morning and saw something that I didn't see yesterday because I was watching the rally. President Trump did a sit-down, one-on-one interview with this fake news reporter from ABC News in the Oval Office. What's his name? Terry Moran. Well, I hope he feels like a moron today because President Trump cleaned this guy's clock like nobody's business. You know, I know most of you that are MAGA out there have seen almost every single interview President Trump has done. I have myself. I have never seen any president of the United States, any political figure, including President Trump, take down a reporter like he took down this Terry Moran from ABC News. It was amazing. This reporter came in with a big, thick stack of printed up questions, all of them left-wing talking point questions, and President Trump just filleted them. And, you know, one of the things I've been talking about a lot lately on the program is this. The Trump haters out there, which is the fake news media, the never-Trumper Republicans, the Democrats, they cannot wrap their minds around the idea that President Trump is president of the United States again. They just can't accept it. They're in the denial phase of grief and are likely to be there through this entire term. And, you know, I know, it's amazing. President Trump, the greatest president of our lifetime, arguably the greatest president of this country's history with what he's doing here. You know, an incredible civil rights leader, an incredible president, the only economist we've ever had as president of the United States. They just cannot accept the fact. And I'll tell you, I was watching the rally in Michigan last night, and I keep telling my wife, I said, this is so amazing. I cannot believe Donald Trump's president again after the 4-year break of everything they did to him in 4 years. It's amazing. He's the most popular president ever. Ever. No president has had events like this. You know, that rally in Michigan, how many tens of thousands of people were there? How many? You know, when have you ever seen a president have a speech after their last election, unless he runs again in 2028, and have tens of thousands of people show up? It just doesn't happen when the campaigns are over, except with Donald Trump. You know, what they do a lot of times is they invite presidents to events, right? You know, there'll be some event of some organization, they'll come and speak, and they got a captive audience. But these are people that are there just for President Trump. It is beautiful. It is amazing. And it's touching. And we're so blessed. Those of us who are MAGA, those of you who were red-pilled whenever and voted for Donald Trump in this most recent election that brought him back to the White House to save our country and Western civilization, which he has been doing admirably. We're just blessed to be living through this incredible time and this historic presidency. So President Trump sat down with this liberal jerk of a reporter, and I'm going to play some clips from it. This might be my favorite. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take some calls in a few minutes. In this clip, President Trump and this Terry moron from ABC News, they're talking about the fake Maryland man, this MS-13 terrorist in El Salvador who beats his wife, according to his own wife, and the MS-13 tattoos on his fingers. Oh, no, that's the next clip. I'm sorry. This one, let me set this one up. The tattoos will be the next one, maybe. This clip, this is beautiful. This clip. Okay, let me reintroduce the clip because I did the introduction for a clip I'm going to play later. They're talking here about all the fraud that the great Elon Musk and Doge have exposed, and about whether or not fraudsters have been referred to the Justice Department for criminal prosecution. Listen. See, this is amazing. So President Trump, who gets briefed every day by all the security agencies and his department heads and secretaries of this and that, he's obviously been briefed by Elon, Doge, Pam Bondi, someone from Justice, that there have been criminal referrals, like these guys that got hired to do some painting and then they got paid forever for 20 years, right? He knows some things that have not been made available to the public. And here you've got this reporter who has breaking news handed to him on a silver platter from the President of the United States. He doesn't want to hear it. He wants to move on. He's supposed to be a newsman. He's getting the scoop of his lifetime probably about this, and he won't share it. He wants to cover up the news. I love it. This is great. I love President Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Chris from Virginia.
All right, Virginia, speak up, man.
I just want all these whiners in your comment section to understand. I guess they didn't see the map after the election. This is exactly what we voted for.
That's right.
Restructure, get enough of the child grooming crap, get these people that don't want to come in the country the right way the fuck out.
Okay, all right. First dump of the day. Mike, oh boy, Mike had to hit that dump button. First dump of the... If you're on hold, stand by as we wait for the delay to re-engage. Now, guys, you cannot use profanity. We're on the radio, okay? I mean, I know that profanity is the in thing right now, but you can't use it here. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, boy, oh, boy. But this gives me a great opportunity to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. This is amazing. Sloman's is going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. It's amazing. It's connected to your cell phone because you get a notification every time there's movement at your door, no matter where you are in the world. It's great to have. But that's not all. Sloman's, they're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, plus you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call right now, 1-833 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Get that free doorbell camera. By the way, it makes a great gift for mom on Mother's Day, if your mom's, or your dad or your grown kids, or a gift for yourself. 1-833-283-5050. All right, the delay has re-engaged. Back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Once, twice. All right. You are out. Okay. So it's going to be one of those days, guys. It's going to be one of those days. All right. Now, this is my favorite clip. I'll play this before the break. This is my favorite clip that with Trump on ABC News in the Oval Office with this Terry moron guy. This is the one where they're talking about the MS-13 tattoos on the fake Maryland man's fingers, which again is a confession on top of all the other evidence that he's an MS-13. Okay, now this is amazing. That was Photoshop. Moving on here. Again, he is the President of the United States. When they give him the tattoo-fingered photo, that is something that has been vetted by NSA, CIA, Justice Department, FBI, ICE, and other organizations. So he's getting briefed on with national intelligence agencies doing the vetting before he gets it. And Terry Moron here, he doesn't get any of that. All he got is his liberal talking points. Oh. Oh. Yep. I bet you do. It's contested. Wow. Textbook example of fake news reporter right there. It's Photoshopped. If it's Photoshopped, why on her Instagram did the wife, the one he beat up, why did she put heart emojis over the tattoos on his fingers so they weren't seen on her Instagram photo with him? That's right. That's right. Because it did the MS-13 on his fingers. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Unreal, these people. Unreal. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm going to go to the phones when we get back. He had his days in court more than once. He had a federal immigration judge order him deported. He appealed it. He went to a federal appeals judge. The federal judge upheld the deportation order from the other federal judge. That's it. That's due process. Wow. What a great job President Trump did. Have you ever seen President Trump or anyone take down a reporter like this? Oh, man, I've got more, too. But I'm going to take some calls first, then we'll get back to Terry Moron from ABC News. We're a little behind on breaks and everything because we came on the radio like 35 minutes late, 33 minutes late. If you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and I'm live streaming here on YouTube, obviously, but I'm also broadcasting live on a whole bunch of FM radio stations and Morning Drive here in Florida. And this is a radio station commercial break we are in. So the callers you hear, some of them are from YouTube. Some of them are from one of our radio stations and other places that carry the program. But you're all welcome to call in, and the number is pinned in the live chat. Okay, now make sure you subscribe if you're new, and if you're already subscribed, please like the video and share on your socials if you don't mind. That helps grow the channel a lot. And don't forget, still time to shop for Mother's Day at MyPillow.com with my promo code Kane. The Percale bed sheets, the closeout sale, any size, any color, just $29.88. So they have every size too, single, twin, full, queen, king, split king, California king, any size, any color with my promo code Kane at checkout, just $29.88. That's a huge discount. But like I say here, once they're gone, they're gone. Great Mother's Day gift. You can use my promo code Kane for all the specials at MyPillow.com. The MyPillow slippers make great Mother's Day gifts, $90 off with my promo code Kane. You know, I got my mother for Mother's Day a few years ago a MyPillow. She loves it. Out of all of the mothers, you know, I'm 54 years old. So I've probably been giving my mom Mother's Day gifts since I was like 5 or 6, right? So out of the 49 or 50 Mother's Days and Mother's Day gifts I've given my mother, the only one I remember, she remembers, and she still has and uses is that MyPillow. And great deals. This is the premium MyPillow with the Giza cotton cover, just $19.98 with my promo code Kane. This is the original MyPillow that started it all, the classic MyPillow, just $17.98. So these are great deals, great Mother's Day gifts. Mom will love them. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. Okay, so we'll be back in just over a minute, and I'm going to go right back to the phones. Yes. Guys, thanks, by the way, for all your support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks for subbing, watching, supporting our sponsors, and everything else. Less than a minute, we'll be back. I'm going to go right to the phones. So if you're on hold, hang in there. Boy, oh boy. If you want to call in, the number is toll free no matter where you're watching, and it is pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. No import fees, no tariffs on the MyPillow products. Everything made in Minnesota, where Mike Lindell's located. Mike was at the rally last night, too. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. Oh, man, we're just celebrating the best interview President Trump or any president or politician has ever given, exposing this fake news reporter. We'll also talk about the incredible Michigan rally. But I'm going to go right to the phones right now. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Once again, IB.
Hey, IB.
They're going to just die on this. They're going to simply die on this hill, okay? I don't know if they want to make him the new George Floyd or billions of dollars, but look, it's over already, okay? It's over. Like I say, they're not going to see the day of light again. They stripped our Americans' rights, these victims. What rights did they have? And you guys still want to fight for this guy. He's not coming back. Get over it. The meeting yesterday, that was awesome. This is how you're supposed to handle these people, okay? Not letting them just throw things out there so the people get stuck in their minds and react to it down the road, like Bernie, Teslas. But Trump didn't let him get away with it because they don't understand this man has dealt with over hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people since the 80s, being on television more than they have, and they don't know. There's no way you can slip by any kind of wicked question by this guy.
That's right.
He's smart for that.
That's right. This guy from ABC News was humiliated beyond description. Hey, IB, thanks for the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
You know, the left just keeps burying themselves, and we should just kick back and enjoy the show.
That's right.
Because all they have is hate and lies. They hate this country. They hate President Trump. They hate us.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, they're just going to bury a hole to the point where they're going to just cave in on themselves. It's over for the Democrat Party, and I can't wait for 2026.
Yeah, me either. I mean, this is beautiful. Yeah, for Trump's nomination for 2026. All right, Jeff, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Jeff from Texas.
Hey, Texas, what's on your mind?
So when we're talking about fake news, what constitutes as that? Is it just anything that disagrees with Trump or conservative ideas, or?
No, lies. You know, the news, the purpose of the news is to observe what is happening and share it with their audience. And what the fake news are, they're not news organizations at all. They're propagandists. Like this guy from ABC News, Terry Moron, he has an agenda. And anything that counters his agenda, he's trying to shut President Trump down on.
What exactly do you think he's trying to shut him down on?
Well, as an example, President Trump, as an example, this terrorist member from MS-13, the fake Maryland man, Garcia, the one that beats his wife, right?
That tattoo was fake.
No, it was not fake. His wife went to court and got a protective restraining order against him. He beat her bloody.
Sure.
His wife went to court. The court documents have been public and widely reported. No, that's true. He beat his wife multiple times bloody with his fist. Pretty bad. But this, you know, but you don't want, but why, you know, but you, like these fake news reporters, you don't want to accept anything that counters your narrative. What you're doing right now is what this fake news guy, Terry Moron from ABC News is doing.
Whoa.
The wife beating story has been widely reported for over a week. And there are court documents that have been widely reported for over a week with his wife's sworn statements in front of the judge. And you said, oh, that's fake. It's not fake. It's real. What's so funny about a man beating up his wife? Why do you laugh at that?
No, man, it's just the way you jump to conclusions, saying like what I'm doing is a part of that. It's like, well, no,
I said you were doing what the fake news is doing. You hear something that you don't like Trump, so you hear something that counters what you want to believe, and you say that I do know.
There you go.
Of course you hate Trump. Why are you MAGA?
No.
Okay, so I was right. I was right.
What are some reputable news sources I should look for if I want the truth?
About what? The wife beating?
Anything.
Fox News, Breitbart,
Fox News,
the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times. Everyone's been reporting this.
Fox News is illegally entertainment.
It's what?
They illegally had to file as entertainment because
so
they were
what?
so much disinformation.
No, they don't. What disinformation? This has been widely reported, even on CNN. Are you? I mean, let me ask you this giggling you're doing. Are you smoking weed? Are you high?
No, man.
Why are you giggling?
It doesn't even matter.
Why? Because you're giggling. We're talking about a terrorist who beats women, and you keep giggling like it's funny. That's bizarre to me.
Because I'm being calm and level-headed, and you're just getting so it's like absurd, you know.
Oh, you're Canadian.
No, I'm from Texas, bud.
Texas. I heard a little when you said it sounded like a Canadian accent. What time is it in Texas?
Well, I'm from Oklahoma.
What time is it in Texas?
Different. 5:56.
5:56. Okay, that's what time it is in Texas. Okay, got a little Canadian accent there, but that's okay. Maybe that's just a liberal accent.
No.
Why do
Yeah,
why
but
do
the
why do you not
relationship
why
with
do you
kids,
not support
like, do they
Trump?
talk to
What's
you?
wrong? Why do you not support Trump?
Well, politics aside, he's a pedophile.
No,
That's the
that's
first one.
another fake news you just made up. All right, appreciate your call. You see what I mean? The people that hate Trump, all they do is make stuff up. Now, yesterday in studio, we had Joe Thomas in studio to talk about annuities, and he told me all kinds of things about annuities that I learned for the first time when he was in studio with us. You know, there's different options on annuities. It's not a one size fits all. You know, annuities, not only is your money safe, your nest egg, no matter what happens in the economy, no matter what happens in the stock market, your money is safe. And you have a revenue stream for the rest of your life. But what I didn't realize, there's different options depending on how much revenue you need or want. And not only that, listen to this. He gave me a list of 3 different annuity options. And if you call Joe Thomas and take advantage of the no-charge consultation that he offers, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located, I'm going to give you his number in a moment. This is from option 1. And if you tell him, oh, this thing in option 1, I'm interested in that, he'll tell you more, he'll know exactly what you're talking about. The option 1 annuity includes an income doubler for unexpected health events. Oh, my goodness. That's amazing. You know, health events, that's when people really get into some financial trouble in their life, don't they? Oh, yeah. Listen, give Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation. And remember, not only do you get a no-charge consultation with Joe Thomas, he will put together a custom proposal based on you and your situation and your goals and your needs and your wants. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com. All right, now we're just about a minute away from the top of the hour break, so if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm not going to take any calls with such little time left, but I'll go to the phones after the break. We've got 2 things on the table. We got the Michigan rally, which I haven't gotten to yet, which was an amazing rally that the president had last night. But I'm really enjoying this interview that he did with this fake news reporter on ABC News. Terry Moron, I think is his name. He's ABC News reporter. It was a face-to-face interview with the president in the Oval Office in front of the Resolute desk. You know, the same desk that Bill Clinton used to fool around with Monica with, right? And President Trump just filleted this guy like nobody's business. So if you'd like to call in, please do. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Back after this. All right, hang in there, guys. Oh, what a great, great news day. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Oh, boy, what a great day. In a word, how would you describe this fake news reporter with Trump? I mean, this is awesome. Just awesome. Yeah, I have my daughter's 2 cats here on top of our 3. So, and my daughter's cats they're still getting to know our cats, so it's a bit messy. Intellectual development disorder. Yeah, that's true. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. If you watch the beginning of the stream before we were on the radio, one of them knocked down a bunch of books back here. I'm going to clean up after. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Cats in the studio. That's right. They're all over the place. Because I'm at my home studio today. That's why. Oh. President Trump just destroyed this guy. Just destroyed him. And of course, I'm allergic to cats. So even with my allergy medication, with 5 cats in the house, it's having an impact. Yeah. Cats in the studio and a silver spoon. Yes. What's the next line? Cats in the studio and a silver spoon. What would be the next line? I can't remember that song. I got it in my head, but I don't know the next song. Arrogant reporter. Yeah. Stupid reporter. Stupid and arrogant. 1 minute, we'll be back. He has a second job and he works a lot, so, you know, he's got a tough schedule. Cats in the studio and a silver spoon, Little Boy Blue, and the Man on the Moon. Yeah. Jane, thank you so much. $20 super sticker. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, the cats... Okay, we'll be back shortly. 20 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. If you're just tuning in, you missed a lot in the first hour. I'm here to tell you. Oh, man, did you miss a lot. I'm going to continue right where I left off in progress. Now, there were 2 big events with the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, yesterday. Of course, the Michigan rally, which was beautiful. I haven't even gotten to that yet, which we will. But President Trump did a sit-down interview with the dumbest reporter I've ever seen. His name's Terry Moron. He's with ABC News. It was a one-on-one interview in the Oval Office in front of the Resolute desk. And President Trump just destroyed and humiliated this fake news reporter who had a big stack of liberal talking point questions. And I'm just going to jump back into it. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phones shortly. This is President Trump and the reporter talking about Biden. Oh, my goodness. Now, of course, that's an easy question. The answer to that is no. And we know this because the leaders of the world were climbing over each other to kiss Trump's ring and other things at the Pope's funeral over the weekend. Biden. Now, notice he doesn't want to. Anytime President Trump says something that does not fit into his talking points, this guy does not want to hear it. Let me play another clip or two, and then maybe we'll take some calls then. This is the president with this fake news reporter talking about Biden in Canada. Yes, Connie, idiot. By the way, this information that the tourism is down, where do they get this information? This is something that they just make up. You know, we're in Florida here. This is the tourist capital of the world. There's Canadians here and people from all over the world, unfortunately, you know. You can tell by the chaos on the roads. I was at the airport. Oh, my goodness, it was packed this week of people flying in from all over the place to visit Florida. But they, you know, the fake news, tourism down, they just say that, even though they have no evidence. They just make it up. Yes, we are. Okay, now that's the other clip I played. See, this guy, he's got nothing but left-wing talking points, and any time President Trump brings up a fact that counters his talking points, he wants to pivot to something else. All right, 1-888-465-2631 is our toll-free number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, this moron guy, you know, it's amazing that he would have the audacity to come into the President of the United States and make accusations.
Could you imagine what this guy's life has been with a name that sounds like moron like that? Could you? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, he must have had the most difficult time growing up. Maybe that's why he's got problems with Trump. Maybe Trump reminds him of all the cool guys that called him moron his whole time in school.
I was just thinking exactly that. I was saying, man, when he was in high school, I know everybody I know in high school would have been picking on him with that name and making fun of him.
Especially as dumb as he is, Terry Moron. I mean, how can you not? All right, good to talk to you, Doug. I mean, you couldn't help yourself with that one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Randy from South Mississippi.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, real quick, one thing that people ain't picked up on, I know you are. I know you have. You're a smart man. I love your content. I love your shows and everything.
There's the setup.
But he said, Abreu Garcia, this Maryland man, whatever he is, he's an MS-13 terrorist. He said he didn't want to go back to El Salvador because he feared for his life from rival gangs. So what's that make him, Mr. Brian?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it gives me an opportunity to tell the truth about that talking point. Okay? Tom Homan was on TV a few days ago about that. That was years ago, back in 2019. Those rival gangs no longer exist.
That's right. But
then why'd you bring it up?
This idiot said, well, that's just, we can debate that about what his knuckle is, whatever it is. But he said he feared from his life from capital letters and all in black rival gangs.
Those gangs no longer exist. And you said you know that.
I know that, but I know what I'm saying.
Oh, rival gangs. He's acknowledging he's in a gang. Okay, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. I get what you're saying. All right. Hold on. Let me take another call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? I get what he's saying now. I missed it the first time. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Jeff from North Carolina.
Hey, Jeff.
How you doing, buddy?
All right.
How's everybody today?
We're great.
I was just going to mention. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you called me. What's on your mind?
I was going to mention this guy. I mean, how they always lead the guy off to different, lead Trump off to different questions. questions when he's trying to answer something. So I don't understand why would they keep going back onto these same shows. Is that the only way they get the publicity?
What are you talking? You talking about President Trump? This was a brilliant move. This interview, everyone's talking about it. It's trending on all the social medias. It's the lead story in news outlets around the world and America, and all of them have the same theme that I have: that this reporter was destroyed by Trump with this interview, and it gives Trump an opportunity to make his points and reach a wider audience. No, this may be the most widely viewed interview Trump has done of his second term.
I'm seeing what you're saying. That works real well for them. I watch your show every day, man. I just wanted to let you know I love it. I even catch you on your little flip times when you're just doing it from home and all. So
great.
I really get into it. It's real good. There's been several times I was tempted to call, just didn't ever do it, but I got a lot of insight. I love the show you did the other day. I won't talk about it today because it's not Friday.
Well, what was it? What was it I did the other day that you're interested in?
It was about the assassination attempt. I was just going to mention to you there was one thing you didn't mention, or there's two other things you didn't mention about that day when that guy pulls the gun up from the guy Wolves in Finance, Greg Gurcario or whatever his name is. Zach Gurcario.
Yeah.
From Wolves in Finance.
Uh-huh.
I watch him every day too. Whenever he puts one out. There's a guy that's standing right there when that guy pulls up that gun up at the thing. And this is something that even Greg Kelly hadn't talked about. But I've seen him try to go up there and get the butter off of it. I really respected what you did and mentioned Wolves in Finance.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Okay, well, listen, I'm going to run, but I appreciate the call and welcome. Thanks for calling. All right, take care. Now, I'm going to get to some more of the audio from this amazing interview that President Trump did with this Terry moron from ABC News. But first, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've lost over 35 pounds. I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret the Monday after Trump's inauguration. So I have not even been on it 100 days. And I've lost over 35 pounds. It's amazing. With zero exercise, eating foods I would normally eat. And I'm not taking any prescription medications like Ozempic. It works. It works. And you know what? I'm not hungry either. You know, before I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I was hungry all the time. You'd hear me sometimes say it on the air. Oh, I'm starving. I can't wait to get off the air. Sometimes the mic would even catch my stomach growling because I was hungry all the time. Since I started Coastal Weight Loss Secret, I'm not hungry. And I want to highlight, I'm eating foods I would normally eat. You know, when I first met with Coastal Weight Loss Secret and sat down with Dr. Zuckerman, I didn't know anything about how it was going to work or what they offered. And I was expecting to be hungry all the time and eating weird foods that don't taste good. That's not the case. You know, yesterday I had Chipotle. You know, today I may have Pollo Tropical. You know, I'm eating foods I would normally eat. It works. If you want to lose weight, give them a call. I'm going to give you the number in a moment. And when you call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. Maybe you just want to lose 20 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150 pounds, or even more. Give them a call. It works, man. It works. And zero exercise, that's the best. Because I first off, I don't have time for exercise. And if that was a requirement, I would have failed because I don't have time and I wouldn't do it, you know. But I lost all this weight, over 35 pounds. I weigh what I weighed when I got married. And I've been married 29 years in December. It'll be my 29th wedding anniversary. Isn't that amazing? I'm where I was weight-wise almost 30 years ago, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Here's the number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlasssecret.com. All right, we'll take our first break of the second hour and be right back. I'm just answering some DMs and stuff, guys. All right, let me. We'll be back in just over a minute. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're in a radio station break, and we'll be back in less than 1 minute now. And I'll take some more calls. I'm going to play some more audio from the interview, which this is, I got to say, this is my favorite Trump interview. Would you guys agree with that? This is like the best. This is the best. Yeah, I love it. He just cleaned this guy's clock. There we go. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold. Stand by. I want to play some more clips. This interview that President Trump did with Terry Moron from ABC News, I believe is probably the best interview the president's ever done. This is my favorite clip. I played this in the first hour, but I want to play it again. This is my favorite clip from the interview. They're talking about Garcia, the MS-13 terrorist that they call the Maryland Man, and we have lots of evidence that he's MS-13. Including the confession that he made because of the tattoos on his fingers. Listen. He had tattoos that are interpreted that way. You know, this goes back to a common theme with the Never Trumpers, okay? The Trump derangement syndrome sufferers. They do not accept or acknowledge that Donald Trump is the president of the United States again. They didn't even acknowledge it the first time. They're just in total denial about it. President Trump is briefed by our top intelligence agencies and experts who vet and analyze all this information before it's given to him to go public with, including the MS-13 tattoos on the wife beater's fingers. Oh, of course, moving on. I bet you do. Oh, see, now this is interesting. You know, if President Trump wants him to he says, do you want me to show you the picture? It's right, he'll have them bring it to him. And Terry Moron here, he doesn't want to see that picture. He wants to believe his liberal urban legends, okay? He doesn't want to see the picture. You know, this is, if the photograph shows what Terry Moron says that it shows. This is his opportunity to expose the President of the United States for being wrong or lying or something. But Terry doesn't want to see the photograph because he knows President Trump is right. I bet. Oh my. Oh, so he's acknowledged they can be interpreted that way. I bet you do, jerk. It's contested. You know, this is, I believe, President Trump's best interview. Don't you? I mean, all of his interviews are great. This is my favorite. I've just never seen him or anyone else do anything even close to what President Trump is doing with Terry Moron from ABC News here. I mean, the guy says, oh, well, why not look at the photograph President Trump has? If you've got a photo, if the president's photograph is photoshopped and you've got the original that's not, this is a big story, Terry Moron, because a couple of things. Either Donald Trump's been given false intelligence briefings by his intelligent briefers with the presidential daily briefing, or he's lying. And you have an opportunity here, if you're right with the photoshopping, expose something big. But he doesn't want to do it. He's afraid that Trump's going to show him the photo. And then he gets very condescending. Oh, we'll look into it, sir. Here's another clip. Terry Moron, President Trump, Oval Office interview. Yeah, in fact, you know, I know everything hasn't come down, but a lot has, in particular gas. You know, I picked my daughter up from the airport the other day. She flew in from Los Angeles, and we drove to my mother's house. She wanted to see her grandma, went to my mother's house, and we're driving by gas stations, and my daughter's like, I can't believe how cheap gas is. She said, I paid $5.45 in California the other day, and I filled up my car. I paid $2.60 a gallon here in Florida. Gas prices in Florida were over $3 before Trump's second term. Over $3 for regular unleaded. Now $2.60 a gallon. I paid as little as $2.57 here in Florida. Prices are dropping, but again, they don't want to acknowledge it because they're fake news. Wow. Wow. A lot of that's bird flu, right? The guy said. What a moron. And notice Terry Moron here from ABC News doesn't even want to get into any of that. Like, a great question is, egg prices are down 87%. What did you do, Mr. President? What did your administration do that resulted in this massive egg price drop? Doesn't do that. He doesn't want to get into that because his mission, he was sent by ABC News, which, by the way, remember ABC News 2 days ago, they had that fake news poll. ABC News, Washington Post poll that I broke down and exposed. If you missed that show, you should go back and watch it. Of this fake poll showing that America turned against Trump and he's all these things. He went there to try to bring Trump down and back up their fake poll, try to give credibility to their fake poll. And what happened? President Trump exposed this guy, body slammed him, and totally filleted him every step of the way. Now, this guy's too arrogant to acknowledge to himself that he was humiliated. This is the biggest humiliation I've ever seen a national network reporter receive at the hands of even Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's done some good jobs on fake news reporters. This is my favorite. My favorite. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. And if you'd like to call in, please do. The number's pinned in the live chat. Oh, yeah, the next one they're going to talk about Putin. Oh, this is great. Give him a dunce cap, someone says. Yeah. Oh, boy, not good. Not good. I can't believe I just did that. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. Okay, we'll be back in about 35 seconds. Welcome, everyone. I am Brian. We are back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you're just tuning in, I mean, for the last 90 minutes, I mean, we've just been breaking down what I believe is Trump's greatest interview. And the reason I'm focusing on this so much is not just, I mean, this is the big story of the day. It's trending on all the social medias. But this fake news reporter from ABC, Terry Moron, he came into the Oval Office with every liberal talking point on every issue out there today, and Trump took him down on each and every one. I want to play a few more clips of it. If you're on hold, hang in there. And then we got to talk about the rally, too, which we haven't even gotten to because, you know, President Trump took down every single liberal talking point, the ones I've been dealing with and taken down by liberal callers and Trump derangement syndrome sufferers for the last 101 days. But before we get back to that, I want to talk about the laser away pain treatment from Dr. Philip Appleton. Now, you guys know he's rid me of pain 7 times. Arthritis, over 20 years of suffering from knee pain. I've had 3 shoulder injuries that he's rid me of pain from. I mean, it's amazing. This laser away pain treatment works. And not only does it work, it repairs the damage that causes the pain. So when Dr. Appleton rids me of pain, the pain doesn't return because he's fixed the problem. It's amazing. That's what the laser treatment does. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. And I'll tell you this, okay? Not only is it painless, you don't even feel it when it's being done. There's no shots, no injections, no drugs, which is, you know, all drugs do is mask the pain. You still got a problem there. Who wants to do that? Plus, you could become a junkie. So there's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no downtime. It's painless and no appointment is necessary. Walk-ins are always welcome with Dr. Appleton, even on Saturdays. Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, I got a couple more clips I want to play from this interview. It's just a beautiful interview. This is Trump again with Terry Moore on ABC News. And they're talking about, they're going to talk about Putin here. I love it. Yeah, and he won't now. You know, this interview, you know, there's just so many things about it that make it beautiful. And, you know, one thing that you see throughout the interview with the reporter, you hear his condescension, you hear the tension in his body. He's very tense, which you could hear in the way he's speaking. He's in many ways having almost a panic attack. And the reason he's having such a panic attack is because he is losing. And this happened. This happened with Caitlin Collins during the campaign when she did that town hall interview with President Trump. You know, they have these talking points that they believe. You know, they like to say that we're in a cult. We're in a cult. We're not in a cult. They're in a cult. You know, President Trump is representative of the majority of this country. He just won a national election, won all the battleground states, and you guys know the story. The cult are the Never Trumpers. Now, the Never Trumper group used to be bigger, but a lot's happened in the last 4 years, and a lot of people have been red-pilled. And but they're in this cult. They're in this Trump derangement syndrome bubble. They have all these talking points that all their friends and colleagues agree with, and that becomes their reality. And when they go and sit down with the guy, they don't go in there like this idiot, this Terry moron. He didn't go in there, say, okay, I'm going to go in there and lie and misrepresent. This is his truth to use a liberal phrase. And what happened, you hear it sometimes with liberal callers on this program. What happened to him is what happens to some of our liberals. For the very first time, Terry Moron at ABC News is being handed the truth about all these things with President Trump. And he can't handle it. And he's not prepared because he's never talked to Trump with anyone who disagrees with him. They're in this liberal echo chamber at ABC News and the rest of the fake news media. So, the thing about the tattoo, the thing with Putin, the criminal referrals. It's like when Caitlin Collins, only so much new wall had been built, which was not true, and they had some weird calculation for that. They don't knowingly lie. They're just brainwashed in this Trump derangement syndrome suffering cult, and they believe their own crap, their own talking points. It is their reality. And you can tell during this entire interview that the guy's starting to get shook up. He's not feeling great because he's during that interview, body language and tone tell a lot. And as the interview goes on, if you've seen the actual video of the interview, the guy, his body gets tense, he starts leaning forward, he's holding on to the papers a little bit more, trying to make a security blanket out of the papers because he's directly in front of the president. And all these things that President Trump is bringing up to him is news to him. But he's with ABC News, and he should know the truth already, but he doesn't. And the longer it went, and it was a very long interview. I didn't even play all the clips. I might play some more later, we'll see. But as the interview went on, and President Trump is breaking down more of his talking points, his fake news talking points, Terry Moron here is starting to realize, well, this guy might be right about some things. He's giving him too much to deal with all at once. There's another couple of clips I wanted to play. I played the tattoo clip. There was another one I wanted to play. Let me see if I can find it. I'll have to look for it during the break. There was a great clip of him talking about Pete Hegseth. So I'll just tell you about it, right? Do you trust Hegseth? And you want to take? And he says, I don't trust anybody. He said, do you trust Pete Hegseth 100%? He says, I don't trust anybody 100%. By the way, Pete Hegseth was one of the many people at the rally last night in Michigan that got shout-outs. You don't trust anyone 100%, right? And the guy didn't know what to do with that because they've created in their mind that Pete Hegseth's a disaster and he needs to be out. There's a lot of pressure that the media are trying to do to try to get Trump to fire someone. They want Hegseth, they want somebody high profile. Hegseth they don't like. A lot of them in the media, they don't dislike Pete Hegseth not only because he's MAGA, loyal to Trump and Trump's Secretary of Defense. He's not up to their standard. See, he wasn't even full-time at Fox. He was the weekend Fox guy, right? So they think there's a hierarchy. And they think they're superior and better than Pete Hegseth, just like they think they're superior and better than Donald Trump. So they don't have respect for him, they don't have respect for Trump, and they just don't think he should belong there. See, what's gone on our entire lives, and even, throughout the history of this country, there's been this elite society of people that have run everything in our country, in the government. And President Trump not only is from the outside that we've talked about, but he's brought in these disruptors like Pete. When he nominated Pete Hegseth to be the Secretary of Defense, that was shocking to everyone. Who would have ever, did any of you ever suspect something like that would come down? He is a complete outsider that they've got zero control over. They thought they had him on that fake scandal from California out in Monterey. That was totally obliterated within like hours of when they brought out that fake news story. And there's nothing they've been able to do, nothing, to challenge Trump or Pete Hegseth or bring any of these outsider disruptors down. Everyone in Trump's orbit is a very loyal MAGA person who's loyal to him, loyal to MAGA, loyal to the country, not beholden, and other presidential cabinets. And this was even true with some of the dysfunctional people in Trump's first term. When people, especially in a second term like this, cabinet people, especially in a second term, they're always insiders from the Washington elite, and what they're always thinking about is what is their job going to be when their term is over, right? What Washington job am I going to have when this term is over? President Trump's people aren't thinking that way. So they have nothing on the Trump people to get leaks, to get them to sabotage, or get them to budge. And a lot of these people in Trump's cabinet are close personal friends that have spent the whole last 4 years together planning what they're doing right now. Now, we're going to take our last break of the second hour. And when we get back, there's a lot to cover and a lot to talk about. And we haven't even gotten to the rally. Steve will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in and share your thoughts on all of this, please do. Our number is toll-free, 1.
And she says right in it that he is a gang member and she's afraid for her and her child.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that story. Yeah, but like, look, I had a guy in the first hour who called me, and I brought up about the wife beating and he says, "Oh, that was made up." They just don't want to believe things that counter their narrative.
I agree. I mean, the convict himself could come right out and say, "Yes, I'm a gang member," and they would still deny it.
Well, he does. The tattoos on his fingers are a confession, aren't they?
Well, of course they are, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about the interview because I spent 90 minutes going through that interview, and I still haven't gone through all of it. I could be here till 9, just playing clips from it and analyzing them. But this interview, the reason I say it was the most important interview President Trump did, there's been a lot of lying talking points in the last 100 days. This president's doing everything perfectly, just like we elected him to do. And this reporter just went through them all, and President Trump just shot everyone down effortlessly.
I mean, he had a chance to redeem himself, but he couldn't help it. He was just so, I guess, brainwashed would be the word, to keep reciting the talking points. It's just unbelievable.
Pod People Media. Yeah, all right. Appreciate the call, Terry. Good call. All right, let's take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay. What's up, man?
Wow, there's been a lot this morning. Number one, I don't see where Trump cleaned that man's clock. That man totally disrespected him, which he deserved to.
I'm sorry. You got to speak up.
Okay, take you off the speaker. There you go.
Thank you. Now we can hear your liberal nonsense better.
Good. That's better. That's good then.
Mm-hmm.
When you said to the man, when the man said to Trump that was wrong about his fingers, can you see that the MS-13 is typed in black letters? They're not tattoos.
Well, then why did the reporter? President Trump said he would show him the photograph, and the reporter didn't want to see the photo. If it's a fake photo, excuse me. If it's a fake, well, he's doing a TV interview that's visual. If he said it was Photoshopped, the reporter, he had an opportunity to expose the president.
MS-13 is, but wait a minute, listen to this. The MS-13 on the man's knuckles on the screen, on the picture that he shows, is typed.
Then why did the reporter not say, "Show me the photo"? I have no tattoos.
Okay, so how did the letters get typed on his hand?
I don't know what you're looking at, but this is what I know. President Trump said he would show him the photo, and the guy didn't want to see it. So he was afraid.
We all know what screen. We already know it was
ABC's Terry Moron was terrified of the photograph. He's doing a TV interview because he wouldn't let it be. Because if what you said was true and what he said was true, he would say, "Mr. President, yes, I want to see the photo," and he would expose how it was photoshopped. He didn't want anything to do with that. He wanted to move on.
Richie was right. Richie said that man disrespected him because he tried to make him say things that he didn't want to say. So he disrespected him by saying, "No, it was photoshopped."
Uh-huh.
And the president didn't want to hear. The president
if the reporter really truly, If the reporter was so confident in that, he would have had President Trump show him the photo he was given by his national security agencies and would have exposed it.
Have you seen the photo?
There's different versions of the photo. The one that President Trump had, excuse me, the one on the president's desk is not necessarily the one we've seen on websites.
But it's photoshopped. It's
oh, really? So you've been to the Oval Office and held the photo?
That don't even make sense.
I know it does. Hey, appreciate the call. All right. Now, let's check in with Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to tell you how he can help you save big money on your electric bill each and every month for the rest of the time you live in your home. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Basically, I'm going to tell you about radiant barrier. I think a lot of people have heard about it, but radiant barrier is like the game changer at your house.
No doubt.
Literally cut your electric bill 20 to 30%, up to 20 to 30%. And right now, while it's still cool and we haven't switched to the hot weather, we can get the work done quick, and we've got radiant barrier available for $1 a square foot. And that's like a 40% savings.
Yeah, what the radiant barrier does is it dramatically decreases the temperature in your attic. And that's very important for a number of reasons. One, your AC ducts are in the attic, so they don't get as hot. That are trying to cool off your house. But it also keeps your ceiling cool, right? And what happens is, and the reason it saves you so much money, it means your air conditioner doesn't have to work as hard and as long to cool your home. And because your AC, and the hot months are coming, so since your AC is not running all the time, you save a lot of money on your AC. And Scott, I bet you, a lot of people think they need a new air conditioner. They get the radiant barrier in and they realize their air conditioning unit's fine.
Absolutely. A lot of air conditioning companies just come out and sell you a bigger unit. And if you get too big of a unit, then you get condensation problems and it ruins your duct system. And then you got to change your duct system out and upsize it, so the air can flow.
Mm-hmm.
So AC companies make money selling air conditioners.
That's correct.
And we make money stopping heat gain.
Yeah, and a great way, the way I always describe radiant barrier to people, it's like you put a massive shade tree over your home, and it keeps the hot Florida sun from heating up your house so much, your roof so hard, and it's amazing. Listen, I'm going to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts cell phone number. You can call or text, and he'll give you a quote right over the phone. Here's the number. It's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. All right, Scott, we'll talk later in the week.
Thanks. God bless you, Brian. Have a great day, and let's keep Trump going.
That's right. That's right. All right, take care, man. He's a good MAGA guy, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. All right, now, if you're on hold, hang in there, and if you'd like to call in and comment about any of this, you're certainly welcome. Toll free, 1-888-465-2631. As I just tell you as an example, okay, their narrative is that Trump has this photoshopped photograph. Let me pull the clip up again that we were talking about. This is my favorite clip from the interview. They're talking about Garcia, the MS-13 terrorist, whose wife says he beat her up a whole bunch of times, bloody. They're talking about the MS-13 tattoo. This is what Jay from Jersey was talking about.
Ordered you to facilitate that.
One making this decision.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I bet you do. Okay. Now, I just stop right there. And this is what I was talking with Jay from Jersey about. You guys have heard me many times, talk to callers. You're sitting there with the man. He says he's got the photo, and he wants to show it to you. You say it's a fake photo and photoshopped. You're sitting there with the man. He says he's got the photo, and he wants to show it to you. You say it's a fake photo and photoshopped. 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 You say it's a fake photo and ph So what you do is you say, because President Trump says MS-13 on it, yes, I want to see the photo. And he has his people there, or he can even do it on himself on his phone, pull up the Photoshop version, do a comparison right in front of the president and talk about it. And there's a couple of, this guy had an opportunity to break a massive news story. Now, it could have been a number of things. The one he didn't want it to be is that the president's telling the truth and is right. But he also could have exposed that President Trump is lying, right? Or President Trump is being briefed with false information from his advisors and intelligence agencies. No matter how this went down, if he would have said, yeah, show me your photo, Mr. President, and I've got the photo here, it doesn't matter. This guy had an opportunity to know. It was a major news-making moment where nothing could have gone wrong other than him breaking a massive news story, and he wants to move on. And the reason he wants to move on, this ABC News reporter, Terry Moron, is terrified that his talking point is wrong and Trump is right. He's in a panic. I bet, yeah, sure he does. See? Mm-hmm. Trying to pivot. Oh, yeah. It's contested. Could you imagine this moment if he would have had Trump display that photo? There's no scenario where he's not breaking news. But this is why we call them the fake news. A great term the president coined. Because they're not news at all. They're activists. And they're liberal activists. And they have an agenda. And they don't want anything out there that counters or questions their agenda. And this is a textbook example of it. Oh, man. If you are in need of roof replacement or repair and you're in the state of Florida, there's only one guy to call. That's Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting and Roofing. A lot of people say, because Tom Laporta will never sell you a roof you do not need. I hear from listeners all the time. They say to me, well, who would buy a roof they don't need? A lot of people do, sadly, because dishonest people tell them they need a roof when they don't. If you just need a simple repair, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing will tell you you just need a simple repair. We've had listeners in this audience who thought they needed new roofs. And one guy in particular, it was a major roof on a very large condo building. He'd had 4 or 5 roofers come out, all said you need a new roof. Tom Laporta came out, he said you just need a repair. Isn't that something? It is absolutely amazing. Tom Laporta can handle the job of any size, whether it's a single-family home or a HOA community or a condo community with 350 units. He can handle the job of any size. He works on both commercial, residential. Oh, yeah, not just both. He also works not just commercial and residential, but municipal buildings as well. He works with every type of roofing material, too. This is his cell phone number. Give him a call or text. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back after our top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, you're on.
All right.
Well.
All right, Steve? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're not back yet, so hang in there. We'll be... Okay.
Thank you, babe.
All right, hold on. We're back in just over 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, man. All right, 1 minute. We'll be back.
Okay, guys.
All right, stand by.
We've got warring cats here.
Yeah.
You hear a cat fight break out, you'll know it's me.
Okay, all right, hold on. 20 seconds. All right, the third hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane joining us. It's not a good day to be a liberal, Steve. Very bad day.
That's for sure. You
Oh.
talking about the ABC interview?
Oh my goodness, I spent the first 2 hours going through some of the highlights. You know, did you see any of it?
I didn't see the interview, but I watched all day yesterday. I mean, it was the most astounding thing I've ever seen.
Well, the
It's
ABC...
breathtaking.
The ABC, we'll get to, I haven't talked about the rally yet, so we could talk about that, which was spectacular in the Governor Whitmer moment. But
I love that.
just to recap the ABC News, I'm not going to play any more sound bites from the ABC News interview because I spent 2 hours going through some of the clips. And, you know, today's show was a very interesting show with our callers. And those of you that have been listening for 2 hours, maybe you didn't notice what I'm going to share with you in a moment, but I will. This fake news reporter, Steve, had a stack of talking point questions, all the liberal Trump-hating talking points from the last 100 days. And it was a very high stack. It was about as thick as a phone book used to be back in the 80s. And he would go through every one of them, and Trump would share the truth. And when I started this at 6, you know, I get some liberal callers calling in, some conservatives too that are just blown away by it. But as the talking points were exposed, the liberal callers, they slowed down a little bit because Trump exposed every single fake talking point about his second term in that interview. And they've got no answer for it. And the ABC News reporter, my favorite part of the interview, there were two things. Well, there were two parts that are my favorite. One was about the MS-13 terrorist, you know, the one that his wife says beat him up a whole bunch of times. And another one was on Doge. And in both instances, hold on a second, I'm going to answer these 1,000 calls that are coming in. In both instances, President Trump handed this guy breaking news stories, and he didn't want to go anywhere near it because he was afraid, right? Because he wasn't there to what's the line from Julius Caesar? I'm not here to what Caesar? I'm here to what was that?
I'm here to bury Caesar, not to praise him.
Yes, I'm here to bury Caesar, not to praise him. So Terry Moron from ABC News, he was not there to praise Trump, okay? Okay. So there were two things. One was on Doge. This was unbelievable, okay? He says, this is what the reporter says to President Trump. He says, you say there's all this fraud that's been exposed, but there have not been any criminal referrals for fraud to the Justice Department. And President Trump says, how do you know that? And he says, well, there haven't been. He says, no, there have. And the reporter immediately wants to pivot to Ukraine or something. President Trump just gave him information that he's obviously been briefed on by the Justice Department or someone in his administration. And he's handing on a silver platter breaking news to this reporter, because there has not been any reporting about criminal referrals on the fraudsters that Doge has exposed. Trump says there are, and of course the follow-up question is, who are these people? Who's been referred? Who can refer me? I need, this is breaking news, Mr. President. Who referred criminal referrals? And who are these frauds? He didn't do it. I want to talk about Ukraine. Moving on. And I'm not here to praise you. So, I mean, that was unbelievable. And then the whole interview is just golden gems. It's the best interview Trump's ever done. And I've never, ever, ever seen any politician, not even President Trump, fillet a reporter like this, okay? The other one was on the MS-13 tattoos. President Trump handed him an incredible opportunity. He said the guy is MS-13. It's tattooed on his fingers. The reporter says to President Trump, that's not true. Those photos were photoshopped, right? Doctored. President Trump says, do you want me to show you the picture? Immediately, let's talk about Ukraine. So the guy, if you're a real reporter, right? If you're, and you're not there to praise Caesar, right? You're there to if you're a real reporter, you say, yes, Mr. President, show me the picture. And then you get it, and then you compare it to what you have, and now you got breaking news. One, these are the possibilities. One, the president's lying. The photo doesn't say MS-13 on his knuckles. Two, it is photoshopped. You have a discussion about that. Three, he's been given false information from his cabinet and his intelligence agencies, or he's lying, or the final one is he's right. So there's no scenario where this guy did not have a major breaking news story. He just had to, yes, show me the photo, Mr. President, but he wanted to talk about Putin and Ukraine. He didn't want to.
It was a lie, so it was a revealing moment.
Well, in the interview is a very long interview. If you get an opportunity to watch the whole thing, not in soundbite form, watch it, because they're sitting face to face in front of the president's desk in the Oval Office. And body language, they should get some body language experts to analyze this Terry. His name's Terry Moran, Moran, but I like Moron better. And do some body language analysis of Terry Moran from ABC News. In the beginning of the interview, he's sitting proud and all that. But as Trump is shooting down the talking points, he gets tense. His body language changes. He's not. The confidence is evaporated from his body. It really is an amazing interview of a fake news.
It sounds like a dramatic moment.
Oh my goodness!
I'm sorry I missed it.
Oh, that's okay. It'll be all over the news today because, someone called me earlier and they said, well, why is Trump talking to these liberal jerks? Look at what he did. He totally exposed every liberal talking point, and from the egg prices to yesterday, every talking point of the first 100 days was completely exposed, Steve. And I remember that time we had that Democrat activist that was like 6'6", a big tough guy, and you made him cry.
Did he
The teacher.
Union
Yeah, the teachers union guy. Remember the tear came out of his eye? He was so. That's how this.
Absolutely.
That is how this guy was yesterday. There was almost a tear coming out of his eye. He was so embarrassed. I almost felt bad for him, but I don't feel bad for him. And I think
I
that.
thought that the interview you're referring to with the teachers union guy who came on like a tough guy and then fell apart and gibberish in the middle of the interview. I remember that. I felt bad for that guy. Sometimes these guys, when you hang them out, it's not a pretty sight.
Well, what happens with these liberals, they're in these liberal bubbles, and all these things are their reality. And when they're confronted with truth that questions their reality, they're like mental patients. They lose it. And this interview was President Trump's best interview. I've never seen anyone do to a reporter what President Trump did to Terry Moron from ABC News. It is so beautiful, and everybody should watch that interview. After 9 o'clock. Don't do anything till after 9 a.m. Let's take a call or two, Steve, and maybe we can get some liberal response. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Chris from Pompano Beach.
Oh, hey, Chris. What's up?
One of my favorites of the interview, obviously, is when he does want to talk about Putin. And, the reporter asked him, "Oh, so you trust Putin?" He said, "Well, I don't trust you."
Yeah, he says, "Do you trust?" He said, "Do you trust Putin 100%?" He says, "I don't trust you, and I don't trust anyone." Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. That was a great moment.
Beautiful. He went back to him and says, "Hey, he exposed him. He says, you come to me all nice and courteous and professional, and you beg for this interview, and you get here, and you want an agenda-driven, try and make me look like this ogre."
Yeah, he said, and President Trump says, "I did you a favor. I've never heard of you, and I gave you this interview."
Exactly. So, and he gets there when he wants to criticize, chop him up. But I love how you broke it down though, because it's so true. I mean, especially based on your callers, that no matter what facts or truth you give them, they want to either ignore it, not address it because they can't defend it, or they want to continue to believe the lie. And I believe, because it's the first time I'm hearing it like you broke it down, even these reporters who are supposed to be smart and professional and get good information, they don't know half of the talking point lies, and they just get out there and believe it. So yeah, I mean, I love how you're giving it to us, the audience.
Well, I appreciate that, Chris. All right,
have a great day, and I love it. But awesome.
All right, take care. All right, Chris. The rest of you on hold, stand by. I was talking about Tom Laporta earlier, Steve, from Laporta Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you don't need. And, we met Tom Laporta. We found him because you ignored a wet spot on your ceiling. You had this wet spot on your ceiling. You ignored it. And if you would have called Tom Laporta then, you may have just needed a simple repair. But because you ignored it, I mean, if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, that means you got a leak in your roof, right? And if you if you ignore a leak in your roof, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you got leaks all over the place. And because you had that quarter-sized wet spot on your ceiling, because you didn't call and get it repaired then, and you waited, the damage was extensive. You had to get a whole new roof.
You develop a mold growth.
Yeah,
Turned into a mold growth.
You had to get a whole new roof. 40% of the drywall in your home was infected with deadly black mold, so that had to be replaced. The dampness from the roof created a breeding ground for termites, and they were eating your house. And it was a major repair. And roof, 40% of the drywall, the termites. It was a lot of damage. But when you saw that first wet spot on your ceiling, if you'd have called Tom Laporta, you probably would have just needed a simple repair, and all these things would not have happened. That's the way it is, guys. And the rainy season is coming, where it rains every day, rains hard. Rainy season's hurricane season. Call Tom Laporta. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4604. 954-604-4602. Did I say it wrong the first time? Let me give it again, Steve. I might have said the number wrong. 954-604-4602. It's Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can call or text. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. All right. You there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Oh, man. Yeah, hold on, Steve. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Oh, yeah, that interview was brutal. I mean, it was like us talking to some of these liberal jerks we get. It was brutal. You there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Less than a minute.
Yes.
30 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right, so if I want to go back to the phones, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Speak up, man.
Okay. Brandon Simmons from Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, we finally turned red, baby.
That's right.
I just wanted to address the tattoo situation. People seem to be getting a little misconfused about it. The tattoos are the symbols. It's not necessarily the M13. That was just highlighting the symbols. I think that caused a lot of confusion.
No, that's what the liberals. No, that's what the liberals want. You know, dishonest. You know, the fake news media. They know what you know. They know what President Trump knows. You know, if there was confusion or something, the reporter would have said, "Mr. President, show me the photograph," and he would have pointed all this out and he was there to try to embarrass President Trump. If he was confident.
No, I mean the people like just the common everyday people that don't understand
Oh,
the
yeah.
situation with the tattoos.
Mm.
That's what it's made to. It's made to like conceal what's going on.
Yeah.
So they're not profiled when they go through the system.
In fact, his wife on her Instagram has a picture of him with his hands around her, around the same hands that he used to punch her with, and she has heart emojis over his fingers to cover up the tattoos on her Instagram photo.
Yeah. So I mean, I hate that. I wish the White House would have explained that a little bit more because the common person is not going to understand that.
Or do you have some gang intel? You sound like you know some inside stuff on gangs.
No, I've just been through it in my life, and I've turned it around. And
Oh, you used to be in a gang. You used to be in a gang.
And no. I was just around it.
Oh.
And when you're around it, you kind of are exposed to it.
Oh, okay.
You know the ins and outs of it.
Okay.
You lived in it. So I pulled myself out of my situation. And,
That's awesome.
I made some mistakes along the way, and my family doesn't talk to me because I am a first-time voter for Donald Trump.
Oh, let me ask you this. That's a good question. Oh, boy, that's amazing. Okay. Your family does not talk to you because you voted for Donald Trump. Did they talk to you when you were making these mistakes in your life that you referenced?
Yes, it was almost like love by 1,000 cuts.
Okay, so let me. This is so bizarre. So you were messing up in life, doing some things you shouldn't be doing, and you were around gangs.
Yes.
Your family didn't mind that; they talked to you then. But you voted for Donald Trump. Now they won't talk to you.
It was more of a tolerance. It was more along the lines of he's going to get his life together one day.
Yeah, but now they won't. Now you say they won't talk to you. You know, when you were a mess doing bad things, they did.
They talk to me. It's a very constrained relationship because they don't think what's wrong with
You're Hispanic, right? Or black?
Yes,
Okay, so they're Hispanic, so they hate Trump because what? Are there illegals in your family? What's their problem? Don't they?
No illegals. I'm a second generation.
Well, why do they hate Trump then?
They don't hate him. I think it's a love-hate relationship with him. I think they like the things he stands for economy-wise, but they don't like the way he goes about it.
Oh, he doesn't like the way he goes about it.
I come from a world, for me,
Oh, we lost the connection there. It's too bad. He's a good caller. Oh, Steve, I got a question. Did you see this thing with Governor Whitmer yesterday that Trump did?
Yes.
Okay, I'm a little confused. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so he's talking to those troops. I'm assuming it was Michigan National Guard there because the governor was there.
I had that feeling, yes.
Yeah, so he brought up Whitmer, who's she's been hanging around President Trump a lot. She was at the Oval Office recently, and he brought her up there and he gave her a kiss, and the media are...
I love it when he does things like that.
Yeah. The media are saying that it was like kiss of death. He's trying to destroy her. I think he was just being nice. He's in her state. He's talking to her National Guard troops, and he was just being nice to her. But I don't know. What do you think happened there? Was it just him being nice?
I think he knows how to charm people, and I think he knows that it throws his enemies off balance when he does things like that. And it also has a couple of good effects for him. It puts his enemies, because she's kind of a political enemy.
Yeah.
It puts them on the defensive with their friends. He likes doing things that are unexpected.
Well, she was definitely planning on running for president, okay, or being the running mate. That with the kiss yesterday on the cheek, that's over. That's like who's that fat Republican that hates Trump? The guy that used to be the governor of New Jersey, size of a whale, Chris Christie. That was like Chris Christie hugging Obama. I knew his name. I just wanted to get the descriptors out. That was like when Chris Christie hugged Obama on the beach. It was over for him. Yeah. That kiss yesterday, it's definitely over for Whitmer to get the nomination from the Democrat Party. I mean, her presidential or vice presidential dreams are over.
It certainly created an embarrassing moment for her.
Absolutely.
But I love when he does things like that. He loves keeping people off balance.
Yep.
It's half the fun.
Yep.
Of what the character he plays.
Now, yesterday, Joe Thomas, our annuity guy, Jupiter Joe Thomas, was in studio, and he gave me some information on annuities, different types of annuities. And he gave me 3 different annuities: option 1, option 2, option 3. These are 3 different types of annuities. And I was looking over one of them today. What I'm going to share with you is from option 1. So, Joe Thomas offers free consultations that you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the country. Okay, so when you call him, if you want information on this, tell him, hey, I heard Brian talk about that option 1 annuity. Now, the thing with annuities we talk about a lot, your money's never at risk. There could be a stock market crash, your nest egg's safe. And you also have a revenue stream for the rest of your life, which is a pretty cool thing. Listen to this, Steve. And this particular annuity, option 1, okay, not only do you get guaranteed income for life, this annuity comes with an income doubler for unexpected health events. And unexpected health events are what financially devastate families. And I didn't notice that on the options when he was in studio yesterday, but that's amazing. There's an income. This is the option 1 annuity. Income doubler for unexpected health events is included. So that's an amazing thing. So when you call for that no charge consultation, if that's of an interest to you, which it should be, ask him about it. Here's his number: 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. Hang in there, Steve. We're back. Come on.
All right.
We'll be back in just over a minute. All right, 10 seconds. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane's here. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know, before I get back to the news, Steve, you know that caller's family won't talk to him because he voted for Trump. You know, it reminds me of what happened with you when you became a Christian on the show. Remember that?
It also reminded me of what happened with me with my daughter over the Trump thing.
Oh, yeah, your daughter's still not talking to you?
Yeah, she's still not talking to me. By the way, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Saquon Barkley controversy. Do you know about that?
No idea what you're talking about.
He's a black football player who plays for the Eagles, who played golf with Trump. And the team is getting a lot of flack from his fellow Eagles. There are a bunch of nuts on that team.
The Philadelphia Eagles, oh my goodness, why? They're still in Philadelphia, right?
Because he played a round of golf with Trump. Before the Eagles visited I think it was before, the Eagles visited the White House, and a bunch of the black players on the Eagles didn't like that very much.
I bet those players like those Trump tax cuts though from their NFL salaries.
I'm sure they'll take them. Yeah, no question.
I mean, my goodness, what a bunch of nuts!
It's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And that's what I don't like about the Eagles. They're a bunch of nasty jerks.
It could be worse. This Belichick guy with his 22-year-old girlfriend that walks him around with a leash around his neck.
Have they ever got to? I saw a couple articles about it in the paper, but I didn't have a chance to go into depth on it. Did they find out what these controversial circumstances of their meeting was?
Well, no. Well, I'll tell you this: the gossip media are investigating to find out how they met, because what she did was just highlight that there's something scandalous about how they met, and she doesn't want anybody to know about it.
Yeah, it implies that they were. One of them was married at the time, or something like that.
Or there's some other thing. There's some other theories I'll tell you off air. I don't want to say on the air.
Like, oh, come on.
No, there's one in particular, the one that I subscribe to. They don't share. I don't know if I should share on the air.
I think you can put it in a way that's not going to get you in trouble. Come on, take a risk.
We taking enough risk, but sometimes you don't want to jump off the building. But
that's not jumping off the. Go ahead.
No. There's. I'll tell you after the show, and then if you say it's okay, maybe I'll share it tomorrow.
That's not gonna be with the listeners.
Then I'll share it. If you say it's okay, I'll share it tomorrow.
I approve.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what it is yet. I'll call you after the show. No, I'll call you after the show and run it by you. But whatever way they met, they are. Believe me, it's going to be exposed. I can't wait. I'm very curious.
You're saying there is a story out there.
Well, all the guy said is, "How did you meet?" She interrupted the interview and said, "We're not going to talk about that." So that means, however they met, was is embarrassing and scandalous. Would be my guess, right?
And there's only one thing I can think of.
What?
That they were married to somebody else at the time.
Not her. She's never been married to anybody else. And
I didn't say they were. I'm just saying that's the only situation.
Oh no, there's another possibility.
Well, give me another.
Well, that's the one I don't want to say. That's the one I don't want to say on the air. If we talked about it before, I would have run it by you. But this is not the kind of thing we would normally talk about. But, I mean, if you guys out there have some theories, I guess we could ask callers to call in with their theories. Maybe somebody will hit on it. But I don't want to be the first one to say it. Let's just put it that way. Because, we don't know. These are just theories that people are running by. But there is a leading theory that I think might be the most likely, based on her hostile reaction.
One of the keys of becoming a great talk show host is learning how to take risks at the appropriate time.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to, go too far. No, I'll tell you what it is. off the air after the show. And if you say it's okay, maybe tomorrow. Hold on, let me answer some of these calls, but I do not want to. Oh, hold on. All right. You back with us, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to be the first to share it, but he did look like a weakling, right? I mean, it's listen, I know it. A lot of men date younger women, but that's 50 years is too much, don't you think? He's 74, she's like 24. That's creepy. I think that's borderline creepy. I think that's creepy, don't
I
you?
don't get judgmental. More power to him. Listen, I've always had dated women that were younger than me. Lori is, what is it,
20 years is not 50.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years is not 50.
Okay. So,
There's a big difference between that. I mean, Steve, they were born, she was born like after 9/11 maybe. I mean, that's a little too young. That's a little too young. It's a lot too young. And he looked like a wimp. Did you see her going out? Did you see her during the game going out on the field like she's a coach?
no.
Yeah, she was out there telling people what to do it was very strange. Very strange. I cannot wait till they expose how they met, because it sounds juicy. But I wanted to get back to the politics of the day. There was did you see the story with John Bolton
No.
and Pete Hegseth?
No.
Oh, John Bolton. President Trump says he's psychotic. He's a warmonger and nuts, right? He's insane. And you have to say there's definite truth to that. I mean, look at that ridiculous mustache he has. I mean, it's a ridiculous mustache. He said something on a television news interview yesterday that was like a threat to Pete Hegseth.
What did he say?
Well, they're desperate to get they want Trump to get rid of somebody in the cabinet. They're desperate to try to get him to fire somebody, and he's not going to do it. But he was on, was it CNN or MSNBC? I can't remember which one it was, but it was it was either CNN or MSNBC. John Bolton said to the anchor interviewing him, Pete Hegseth should resign for his personal safety. What does that mean? I mean, I thought that was crazy. President Trump, I'll pull this up. He commented on it on True Social. Hold on, I didn't know we were going to bring this up, so I don't have it queued up, but I'll find it in a second. But he said he should resign for his personal safety. I mean, what does that even mean?
It could be construed as a veiled threat.
Or like he's been briefed on something, right? I mean, it was a very, very bizarre comment, and it was one of those things that someone says and they don't really realize they're saying it. You know what I mean? It's just something that just kind of came off his tongue, like he shared with the backroom conversations that aren't meant for television. It was really a bad thing to say, and it sounded like a threat. And I saw it, and I think, and most people, I believe, think it's sounded like a threat. It was a very bizarre statement that he made. It was in such a strange way. And then the rally. Did you see the rally last night at all? Any of it?
I watched all of it.
Well, okay. The rally was spectacular. I mean, I love the only part of the rally. Yeah.
The whole thing yesterday was astounding. Except
that United Auto Workers guy that came up there and talked for like 15 minutes about himself. What a psycho that guy. I know he's important to the Auto Workers Union up there, but he came up there talking about his book and President Trump writing the foreword for his book, and he was up there forever. I mean, you saw Scott Jennings from CNN talk for like 10 seconds. That's what you do. You talk for 10 to 30 seconds, not like minutes.
Right.
And that union guy, and he was talking about himself like anyone cares. It was so strange. But hey, listen, he's one of the party bosses with the unions, the auto workers union. So I guess he gets the extra time. But I had it on Fox, and I had it on Fox, and I was watching online. Fox didn't carry the exact beginning of the rally. They came in late. And when Trump came out, the crowd was going nuts. Fox didn't carry that part. They waited for the crowd to calm down before they started carrying it, which I thought was very strange. And then I was watching, they had it tiny in the bottom right of the screen. And I was going back and forth between Fox and online, and I was watching on Right Side Broadcasting online, and Fox has a bit of a better picture than the internet, So, and then they cut away to Bret Baier. And Bret Baier said, well, we carried as much of the president's speech as we could. And then they cut away from it. What does that mean? They got 24 hours. They could have carried, he spoke for about 90 minutes. They could have carried the whole thing. Why did Bret Baier and Fox News cut in the middle of the rally and say we wanted to carry as much as we could? They can carry the whole thing. I didn't quite get what that was about. It was very, very, I don't know what it was. I mean, it was stupid because I know what I did. I flipped it off and didn't go back, right? And went right back to the internet and watched the rest of it. And I imagine millions of people did the same thing. Bret Baier, we carried as much as we could. Now, I think that's like you're asking people to click off, which is the last thing you want to do on your television network. I thought that was really weird or telling, right?
My recollection is that moment occurred right at the start of the Laura Ingraham show. Is that
well, why would Laura Ingraham, I don't think, would mind being preempted a little bit for Trump.
Well, I think they had agreed that I think they had a prearranged thing where she was going to do what they were thinking of doing the beginning of her show.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Maybe there was some confusion.
I clicked away. I didn't go back. So tell me, did they go back to the rally or start with Laura Ingraham? And I don't think Laura Ingraham would approve of that, cutting away for her. It would make her look bad, But I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. A guy called in the other day, was questioning. He obviously doesn't know me very well. He's a new listener. He was questioning whether or not I've been doing exercise to lose over 5 pounds. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, just for a moment. I have done zero exercise. Absolutely zero exercise. Okay? That's right. Also, I'm eating foods I would normally eat, and I'm not taking any prescription medication like Ozempic. Nothing. No prescriptions. It's amazing. It works. Coastal Weight Loss Secret works. I've lost over 35 pounds. It's absolutely amazing. And I got to tell you, Steve, not only do I look great, I am, my wife and I, this will be our 29th wedding anniversary. And I'm where I was when we got married now, which I never thought that would happen, again. And, when you get older, all men get bellies, right? I was starting to get one. It's gone. Not only did I lose the weight, I lost it in the places I wanted to lose it. My stomach's flat now. I even have definition in my torso and my waist. I lost it in my face and neck. And I was watching, Steve, some pictures that we took on Inauguration Day. I started this diet the Monday after Inauguration Day. And I saw some pictures of me at Wings Plus. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how heavy I'd gotten. And I look at myself now and I look at myself then, it's another person. And you know what most people tell me? Most people, people do tell me you've lost a lot of weight. I notice it, They tell me I look younger. I hear that more than anything. You look years younger. You look a lot younger. Boy, I hear that a lot. It's true. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Again, now you may not want to lose as much as I lost. Maybe you just want to lose 20 pounds. But maybe you want to lose 150 pounds or more. They can help. And it works, guys. And I'm not hungry either. And I'm eating foods I would normally eat. Here's the number. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Hey there, it's Brian. Stand by. Steve, you there?
I'm here.
All right, stand by. We got William. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Stand by. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane's here, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking today?
Metal's still giving us a pullback and a buying opportunity, Brian. The gold yesterday traded in a range of $32.97 on the low and $33.30 on the high, and closed out the day down $26.10 at $3,316.70. Still hanging around that $3,300 number that we've been. Silver was down 21 cents at $32.90. Platinum closed down $8 at $9.78. And palladium was down $10 at $9.26. The pullback kind of continued overnight. We got down as low as $32.81 and as high as $32.93 right now, or actually $32.96. Right now, gold's at $32.95. That's down $21.70. Silver down 40 cents at $32.50. Platinum down $8 at $9.70. And palladium down $11 at $9.15. So as you would say, the metals are on sale today.
Yeah.
And probably a great day to consider buying or adding to your positions, or certainly getting involved if you haven't been.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, both gold and silver. I remember, the first time Steve got into the metals, he bought a silver bar, and he bought one of those kilo bars. Those are good buys, aren't they, the kilo bars?
Kilos are good buys, yeah. I prefer the 10-ounce bars and the 100-ounce bars.
Oh, really?
Over the kilo bars, because the kilo bars, that's 32.15 ounces.
Oh.
And a lot of people go like, well, how much is it worth? And how many, with 10-ounce bars and 100-ounce bars and 50-ounce bars, you have it's very easy to calculate.
It's just by factor.
Kilo bars are fine. I mean,
it's harder to do the math.
It's
with the 10 and 100, exactly. You just, it's a factor of 10, and it's easy to do. It's easy to do the math and know what your value is. But those kilo bars stack pretty cool, though. It's like in the movie. It's like in the movies. but when it comes to the silver bars, though, those are really good bargains. What are they? What's it looking like right now on those 10-ounce and those 100-ounce bars of silver?
Yeah, you can buy 100-ounce bars from us today for just 50 cents over the spot price of silver. To Steve Kane listeners only. But,
my goodness.
That's a really phenomenal price.
Yeah, it is.
That's the lowest premium we've seen on 100-ounce bars in years.
Yeah, that's
a great value right now.
Absolutely. Well, listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. and at his shop in Boca, everything's available for immediate delivery. Okay, you can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. When you go inside the Bank of America building, William Youngerman is located in the lobby directly across from the bank. You can't miss it. Or give him a call. You can do all your transactions over the phone and through the mail. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And find both his phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Yeah, Steve, I remember that first silver bar. Someone gave it to you because silver wasn't really going for a lot back in those days. So somebody gave it to you as a gift. And Todd gave it to you as a gift because silver was like, I don't know, like $6 an ounce back then, something ridiculous. And my goodness, and now it's over $30. But I remember you took that bar over to Youngerman's. And that's when we first met him, and he weighed it, and he said this was. I was like, oh my goodness, that really went up in value, And silver wasn't even anywhere near where it is today, so it's great buys. So anyway, I forgot where we left off before the break, but the rally. We were talking a little bit about the rally, which by the way, Mike Lindell was there at the rally. Got some shout outs from President Trump. Yeah, they said I did not know Mike Lindell had gotten married. I'm going to look that up online. I think that's his. He's been single for a long time, And he got married, and it wasn't a big to-do, at least not publicly. I was surprised to hear that Mike Lindell had just gotten married. I'm curious who his wife is. Well, one thing I know, she's a good Christian girl. If Mike Lindell married her, because he's the real deal. But the rally last night, I didn't see that ABC News interview till this morning because I was watching the rally. And, that rally, like with the ABC News interview, the media have been trying to get this false narrative going that MAGA voters have turned against Trump, right? And we were talking yesterday that Republican Congress people in both houses have been doing town halls in their district, and liberals have been showing up in MAGA hats. And then they start with all the liberal talking points in a MAGA hat. I've seen this happen many times, including I saw one Republican senator, I can't remember which one, a couple weeks ago. He had a town hall, and there were a bunch of people there in MAGA hats talking about the due process of the Maryland man. I mean, come on. It's once they start talking about due process, they're out of the closet as fake MAGA, as a liberal.
It's gotten really, really ugly. Have you ever in your life been driving and you come upon suddenly a horrible accident with bodies all over the place, and hopefully it's not an experience that you want to live through, but I mean, well, that's what the Democratic Party has become. It's like a car wreck, a train wreck. It's so horrible and disgusting that you almost feel bad for them. I mean, they've just destroyed the party. There's nothing left of it.
And they don't have anyone who's either credible enough or who wants to be the leader. These people they're talking about are clowns.
What they don't have is an idea.
That's true.
That's what they don't have. Donald Trump has taken over all the logical, reasonable positions on the controversial issues of our time, and they're left supporting the opposition, the crazy.
Yeah, and that's why,
every issue.
like I give an example. Donald Trump made an amazing deal yesterday. You saw the thing with Amazon and Jeff Bezos?
No, I missed that.
Amazon announced, it all happened real quick, like in a period of 1 to 2 hours. All of this, it was set, the story broke and President Trump settled it like maybe within an hour. Okay?
What was the story?
Amazon announced that they were going to update their website. And next to the price of their items, next to it, they were going to put the tariff price. How they do in Europe with the VAT tax? They put the VAT tax next to the real price. They were going to do that with all of their items, okay, on the Amazon website. Carolyn Levitt had a press briefing and went off on them. And then Walmart announced, because, Walmart really got hit hard with the rise of Amazon. They're not what they used to be, right? Amazon, as soon as that Amazon announcement came out, that they were going to list the tariff cost next to the prices, Walmart immediately announced within minutes, that they were going to increase the number of American-made products in their stores. So people immediately started saying, well, I'm going to go back to Walmart. I've been shopping at Amazon, but if they're going to do this, President Trump picked up the phone and called Jeff Bezos and reamed him out. And within less than 2 hours, Amazon announced they're not doing that with listing the tariffs on the items. I mean, he, boom, settled it just like that because he's the man. And that's it.
It's nice to have juice.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice to have juice.
And Bezos is either the second or third richest man in the world. I'm not sure if he's second or third right now, but, Elon's twice as wealthy as him, but he's second or third. And, that was just amazing. And President Trump handled it so quickly, he settled it before most people even knew what had happened. Right? And in that rally last night, there was a lot of great things that came out of it. But he went through a list of companies that are moving back to the United States. NVIDIA, Apple. And then his Treasury Secretary said to a reporter yesterday, made a big announcement. Trump thinks in ways that no one has ever thought before that's led this country. the Secretary of Treasury for President Trump said yesterday, the openly gay guy, the first openly gay cabinet member, senior cabinet member, he said President Trump, for companies that move their factories to the United States, if you move your factory to the United States, you will be able to expense on your taxes the entire expense of moving and building the factory. So it's like free, right? That was amazing. And the media aren't reporting that because, it's such an outside the box kind of thing. They don't want people to know about it. But when, it was a great day yesterday for the country, It really was. I mean, there wasn't one bad moment. But if all the MAGA people had turned against President Trump, that rally in Michigan would have been filled with angry MAGA people. They had one liberal protester whose gender was undetermined by the president, and they had to remove because they lost it. But if what they are telling us is true, that arena would have been filled with angry MAGA people, and there were none. And I was watching.
Obviously, we knew from the beginning it wasn't true.
Yeah, and they were interviewing MAGA people all day on all the mainstream media, and they were all praising Trump. One reporter said, are you worried about paying higher prices? And she said in her MAGA hat, I've been paying higher prices because of Biden. Well, listen, we're out of time for today. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Steve Kane, of course, is here. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. You'll be first in line tomorrow morning. See you then at 6 a.m. tomorrow. All right, we are out. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. And if you're already subscribed, please like the video and share on your social media, if you don't mind. That helps grow the channel a lot. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you later.